First contact gone wrong. Admiral Kylara Van stood motionless before the massive observation window of the Valkyrie flagship Starweaver, her four eyes fixed on the swirling blue-green planet below. After 3 centuries of deep space exploration, she had thought nothing could surprise her anymore. She had been wrong. "Run the analysis again," she commanded, her secondary voice box producing the subtle harmonics that indicated serious concern to her crew. "Admiral, we've already run it 12 times. Science Director Malik responded, his crystalline exoskeleton catching the light as he manipulated the holographic displays. The results remain consistent. The energy signatures we're detecting from their primitive fusion reactors don't match their technological level. The patterns are too elegant." Kylara's facial tendrils twitched, a sign of deep thought among her species. The Valkyrie had discovered thousands of civilizations over their million-year history. They had cataloged, categorized, and predicted the development of countless species. But humans defied their models. "Show me the temporal comparison again," she ordered. The holographic display shifted, showing Earth's technological progression over the past 200 years. The advancement curve was impossible, exponential in some areas, stagnant in others, with occasional inexplicable leaps that violated every known model of civilizational development. "Look here," Malik said, highlighting a section of the curve. "They went from primitive chemical rockets to ion propulsion in less than 50 years, but their visible space program still uses chemical propulsion. It's as if they're hiding their true capabilities," Kylara finished. "Director, what's the status of our stealth probe?" Malik's crystalline fingers danced across the controls, still in position above their northern hemisphere. "All systems functioning normally. They show no sign-off." The holographic display flickered and went dark. "Report," Kylara barked. "The probe. It's gone, Admiral. Complete systems failure." But before it went dark, Malik's voice trailed off as he examined the final data burst. It detected an energy signature, something locked onto it with technology we've never seen before. Kylara's tendrils went rigid, the Valkyrie equivalent of a cold sweat. Their stealth technology was the most advanced in known space. No primitive civilization should have been able to detect their probe, let alone disable it. "Play back the last sensor readings," she ordered. The holographic display came back to life, showing a cascade of data from the probe's final moments. Energy readings spiked in patterns that made no sense until Kylara saw it. Her heart nearly stopped. "Those energy signatures," she whispered. "They're not trying to copy our stealth technology. They've developed something entirely different, something we've never seen before." "Admiral," the communications officer interrupted, "we're detecting a transmission from the surface. It's being broadcast on our secure frequency." Impossible. The Valkyrie's quantum-encrypted communications were unbreakable. Yet there it was, a simple text message in perfect Valkyrie script. "We know you're watching. We've been waiting for you." The bridge fell silent. In all their history, no species had ever detected a Valkyrie stealth ship, let alone managed to communicate with one uninvited. Yet these humans, these supposedly primitive humans, had not only detected them, but had broken their encryption in a matter of hours. "Admiral," Malik said quietly, "I've completed analysis of their global communications network. You need to see this." The holographic display filled with images from Earth's entertainment media, stories of alien contact, invasion, and warfare. Thousands of them, spanning centuries. Stories that explored every possible scenario of extraterrestrial contact in intricate detail. They've been preparing, Kylara realized. All these stories, these fictional accounts, they're not entertainment. They're scenario planning. They'd been gaming out first contact for generations. "That's not all," Malik continued. "Look at their military deployments. Their visible forces are arranged conventionally, but there are gaps in their coverage. Gaps that make no strategic sense unless there's something we're not seeing." Kylara finished. Something hidden in those gaps. The implications were staggering. The humans hadn't just prepared for first contact. They had orchestrated it. Everything the Valkyrie could see was what the humans wanted them to see. Every piece of primitive technology, every apparent weakness, every gap in their defenses, all of it carefully crafted to present an image of a developing civilization. "Admiral," the sensor officer called out, "we're detecting multiple small objects leaving Earth's atmosphere. They're heading straight for us." Kilara watched as dozens of tiny craft appeared on their sensors, their energy signatures unlike anything in the Valkyrie database. They moved with impossible precision, their trajectories defying known physics. "They're not attacking," she realized. "This is a demonstration. They're showing us what they can do." The small craft formed a perfect sphere around the Starweaver, their formation so precise it could only have been controlled by an advanced artificial intelligence. Yet Earth showed no signs of such technology in their public networks. Another message appeared on their screens. "Perhaps we should talk." Kilara stared at the message, then at the beautiful blue-green world below. In all their history, the Valkyrie had never encountered a species like this, one that had hidden its true nature so completely, prepared so thoroughly, and revealed itself with such calculated precision. "Send our response," she commanded. Tell them we would be honored to talk." As the message was transmitted, Kilara couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't first contact at all. This was humanity revealing itself on its own terms, after years of watching, waiting, and preparing. They hadn't discovered Earth. Earth had allowed itself to be discovered. The game was just beginning, and for the first time in her long career, Admiral Kilara Venn had no idea what would happen next. The hunter becomes the hunted. The human delegation's shuttle approached the Starweaver with a grace that made Admiral Kilara's tendrils twitch nervously. Their vessel wasn't just advanced. It was elegant in ways that suggested centuries of refinement, not the decades shown in Earth's public records. As she watched it dock, a troubling thought surfaced. How much else were they hiding? "Final analysis of their shuttle's capabilities, Director," she asked Malik, who stood beside her in the reception chamber. "Their propulsion system appears to be a hybrid design, Admiral," he replied, his crystalline form shimming with unease. "They've combined principles from at least 3 different technological approaches we've never seen merged before. It's innovative in ways our scientists wouldn't have considered." The docking procedure completed with a soft hiss. As the airlock cycled, Kilara noticed something odd about its operation. It was perfectly calibrated for Valkyrie atmospheric requirements. They hadn't sent that information to Earth. The door opened, revealing 3 humans in what appeared to be ceremonial attire. Their leader, a tall woman with silver-streaked hair, stepped forward with a smile that Kilara's synapsychology training couldn't quite decipher. "Admiral Venn," the woman said in perfect, unaccented Valkyrie speech, "I'm Director Elizabeth Chen of Earth's Deep Space Contact Initiative. Thank you for accepting our invitation to talk." Invitation. The word choice wasn't lost on Kilara. The humans were politely but firmly establishing that they had controlled this encounter from the start. "The honor is ours," Kilara replied diplomatically, "though I admit to some confusion. Your technological capabilities seem to exceed what our observations suggested." Director Chen's smile widened slightly. "Yes, we thought they might. Please, shall we discuss this somewhere more comfortable? We have much to share." As they walked to the conference room, Kilara noticed the other 2 humans, a younger man and woman, casually observing everything with trained eyes. Their movements were too precise, their attention too focused. Military specialists, she realized, despite their civilian attire. The conference room's holographic systems activated automatically as they entered, another detail the humans shouldn't have known how to interface with. Director Chen didn't seem to notice the Valkyrie crew's growing unease. "Let me be direct, Admiral," Chen began once they were seated. "We've been aware of extraterrestrial civilizations for approximately 80 years. Your Valkyrie ships have passed through our solar system 6 times during that period, though this is your first close observation. Kilura's secondary hearts skipped a beat. Those had been their most classified stealth missions. How? We detected them the same way we detected the others, Chen continued calmly. The Zixka, the Meridians, the Collective. We've observed 17 different species studying Earth, all believing they were undetected. Malik's crystalline form vibrated in shock. The Meridians, they vanished 3 decades ago after reporting some kind of technological anomaly in this sector. Yes, Chen nodded. They became overly aggressive in their information gathering. We were forced to demonstrate our objection to their methods. The implication hung heavy in the air. Humanity hadn't just detected advanced alien civilizations, they had successfully defended against them. Show them, Sarah, Chen instructed one of her companions. The younger woman activated a small device, and suddenly the conference room's holographic display filled with images that made Kilara's professional composure crack. Hidden bases beneath Earth's oceans, massive underground facilities carved into continental plates, orbital platforms cloaked by technology that bent light and sensor readings around them. This is just what we're comfortable sharing, Chen explained. We've had generations to prepare, Admiral. Every alien encounter film, every science fiction story. They weren't just entertainment. They were part of a global initiative to prepare humanity psychologically and strategically for extraterrestrial contact. But your visible technology, Malik began, is exactly what we wanted others to see, the male human finished. We learned early on that appearing less advanced than we are has significant tactical advantages. It's amazing how much you can learn about a civilization when they think you're primitive. Kilara studied the humans with new eyes. Their relaxed postures and friendly demeanors masked something else. Absolute confidence. They weren't worried about revealing these secrets because they knew they held the upper hand. The Meridians, Kilara said slowly. What really happened to them? Chen's expression grew serious. They attempted to establish a covert base on Mars. When diplomatic warnings failed, we demonstrated our objection to unauthorized incursions into our solar system. Their ships were encouraged to leave, those that could. The casual way she described defeating one of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations sent chills through Kilara's neural pathways. But now, Chen continued, her smile returning, we believe it's time for a different approach. The Valkyrie have shown themselves to be thoughtful observers. Your society values knowledge and understanding over conquest. We appreciate that. You've been studying us as much as we studied you, Kilara realized. Of course, we needed to know who would make the best first official contact partners. Your people were the obvious choice. Malik's crystalline form pulsed with cognitive dissonance. But why reveal yourselves now? Chen leaned forward, her expression intense. Because the galaxy is changing, Admiral. We've detected things out there that concern us. Patterns in deep space that suggest movements and preparations by less peaceful civilizations. We believe it's time for humanity to step onto the galactic stage officially, but we'd prefer to do so with allies who understand the value of knowledge and preparation. Kilara felt the weight of the moment. This wasn't just first contact. It was humanity selecting its first official galactic partner after decades of silent observation and preparation. And if we decline? She asked, already knowing the answer. Then we continue as we have been, Chen replied simply. But we both know that's not the best path forward. We have much to learn from each other, Admiral. The question is, are you ready to learn just how deep that knowledge goes? Kilara looked at her crew, then back at the humans. In all her years of exploration, she had never encountered a species that had turned first contact so completely on its head. These weren't primitives lucky enough to detect advanced observers. These were master strategists who had spent generations preparing for this moment. We're ready, she said finally. Though I suspect we're not the ones who were really being tested here. Chen's smile held secrets yet unrevealed. No, Admiral, you weren't. The truth emerges. The depths of Luna Base Alpha stretched far beneath the moon's surface, extending through layers of tunnels and chambers that defied Valkyrie understanding. Admiral Kylara Van had expected impressive human facilities, but nothing like this. "Your people built all this in secret?" she asked Director Chen as their transport pod descended through another level of the vast underground complex. "This facility was started 50 years ago," Chen replied, her voice carrying a hint of pride. "After our first encounter with the Zixka, we realized we needed secure locations for research and development, away from prying eyes." The transport pod slowed to a stop, its doors opening to reveal a cavernous chamber filled with technology that made even Malik's crystalline form pulse with excitement. Rows of mysterious devices lined the walls, many incorporating elements that seemed to blend multiple technological approaches seamlessly. "Welcome to Synthesis Division," Chen announced. "This is where we combine recovered alien technology with human innovation. You might find some familiar elements here." Kilara's 4 eyes widened as she recognized components that could only have come from Valkyrie ships. Not just recent technology, but pieces dating back centuries. "That's impossible," Malik whispered. "These components are from ships we lost hundreds of years ago. Ships we thought were destroyed by solar anomalies or navigation errors." "Not destroyed," the male human specialist, who had introduced himself as Dr. Marcus Wong, corrected. "Carefully disabled and recovered. We couldn't risk alien civilizations realizing we were capable of such operations, so we manufactured evidence of natural disasters." Kilara's tendrils coiled tightly, a sign of extreme distress among her species. "How many ships? How many civilizations?" 37 vessels from 22 different species," Chen answered matter-of-factly. "Though we only disabled those that posed potential threats or refused to acknowledge warnings to leave our space." They moved through the facility, passing laboratories where human scientists worked on technology that should have been centuries beyond their reach. But they weren't just copying alien designs, they were improving them, combining different approaches in ways that created entirely new possibilities. "Here's something you might find particularly interesting," Wang said, leading them to a sealed chamber. Inside, a device hummed with a familiar resonance. "This is our version of your quantum communication system. We adapted it after studying the signals from your stealth ships, but we found we could improve efficiency by incorporating principles from meridian wave technology." Malik moved closer to the device, his scientific curiosity overcoming his unease. "The quantum wave integration should be impossible. The technological paradigms are incompatible." "Incompatible under conventional approaches," Wang agreed. "But we found that human neural network designs could bridge the gap. We seem to have a talent for seeing connections others miss." "That's an understatement," Sarah Mitchell, the other human specialist, added. "Show them the nexus." Chen considered for a moment, then nodded. The transport pod took them deeper into the facility, finally emerging into a sphere-shaped chamber that pulsed with energy. At its center, a crystalline structure similar to Malik's own form housed what appeared to be a quantum computer, but it operated in ways that defied known physics. "This is how we detect and track advanced ships," Chen explained. "It combines computing approaches from 12 different species with human-developed quantum processing. It can predict stellar events, track phase-shifted vessels, and analyze technological signatures in ways no single system could achieve." "It's beautiful," Malik whispered, his crystalline form resonating with the energy patterns. "But how did you develop this level of understanding so quickly?" Even with recovered technology, the learning curve should have been insurmountable. Chen's expression grew serious. "Because we had to. 80 years ago, when we detected the first alien ship entering our solar system, we realized something profound. We were not ready. Humanity was divided, our technology primitive by galactic standards. We faced a choice: remain vulnerable or change everything about how we approach development. We created a shadow infrastructure," Mitchell continued. "While maintaining the appearance of normal technological progression on the surface, We poured resources into hidden research facilities like this one. Every major nation contributed their best scientists, working in secret. But the most important discovery wasn't technological, Wang added. It was psychological. We realized that our greatest advantage was our ability to think differently. Where other species saw incompatible systems, we saw opportunities for synthesis. Where others developed technology along predictable paths, we jumped between approaches, combining them in ways that had never been tried. Kilara processed this information, her tactical mind racing. You're not just showing us this to establish diplomatic relations, are you? You're warning us. Chen's smile held an edge of steel. We're showing you this because something is coming. Something that concerns us deeply. We've detected patterns in deep space that suggest large-scale movements. Civilizations preparing for conflict on a scale the galaxy hasn't seen in millennia. The Valkyrie have noticed similar patterns, Kilara admitted, but we haven't been able to determine the source. We have, Chen said grimly. And what we found suggests that the galaxy's period of relative peace is coming to an end. We believe it's time for humanity to step out of the shadows, but we'll need allies who understand both the threat we face and the importance of approaching problems in new ways. Kilara looked around the chamber, seeing humanity's achievements in a new light. They hadn't just been hiding their development. They had been preparing for something they saw coming decades before anyone else. How long have you known about this coming conflict? She asked. Since our first contact with the Zixka, Chen replied. We found data in their systems suggesting long-term preparations for a galactic-scale event. Everything we've done since then, every technological development, every careful deception, every diplomatic calculation, has been leading to this moment. The implications staggered Kilara. Humanity hadn't just been developing in secret, they had been orchestrating their own emergence onto the galactic stage at precisely the moment they felt it would be most crucial. The question now, Admiral, Chen said softly, is whether the Valkyrie are ready to face this future with us. Not as observers or studied subjects, but as true allies. Kilara looked at the Nexus, then at her hosts. In that moment, she understood that humanity's greatest achievement wasn't their technological advancement or their strategic deception. It was their patience, their ability to spend generations preparing for a moment they knew would come, all while keeping their true nature hidden from the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. We're ready, she said firmly. Though I suspect humanity has been ready for far longer than anyone realized. The Great Deception. The holographic display aboard the Starweaver filled with data as Director Chen's team shared their final revelations. Admiral Kilara felt her world shift as she watched humanity's carefully crafted deception unravel layer by layer. This is our true defense network, Chen said, manipulating the display to show a vast web of satellites and stations hidden throughout the solar system. What you've been able to detect represents less than 10% of our actual capabilities. The network was beautiful in its complexity. Thousands of platforms disguised as debris or natural formations, each containing technology that seemed to bend reality itself. Some incorporated Valkyrie stealth systems, others used meridian phase shifting, and still others employed principles Kilara had never seen before. The public space programs, the primitive satellites, the apparent gaps in our coverage, Mitchell explained. All of it was theater. We needed any watching civilizations to underestimate us. But why maintain such an elaborate deception? Malik asked, his crystalline form pulsing with confusion. The resources required, the coordination needed across your entire species. Because the best defense is one your enemy doesn't know exists, Wang answered. He gestured, and the hologram shifted to show Earth's apparent military capabilities versus their actual strength. Every weapon we revealed had a hidden counterpart. Every weakness we displayed concealed a strength. The scale of the deception was staggering. Humanity had maintained two completely separate technological infrastructures, one visible to the galaxy, deliberately primitive and flawed, the other hidden and impossibly advanced. Your entire civilization participated in this. Kylara asked, still struggling to comprehend the scope. Your political divisions, your public conflicts. Chen's smile held a hint of pride. Another layer of deception. While we maintained the appearance of a divided species, our world's nations were working together more closely than any civilization you've encountered. Those public conflicts, often carefully choreographed to maintain the illusion of disunity. The hologram shifted again, showing a timeline of Earth's true technological development alongside its public face. The disparity was shocking. While the world saw nations competing in a space race with chemical rockets, humanity had already mastered faster-than-light travel. While countries argued over climate change, hidden facilities were terraforming Mars. The most crucial element, Chen continued, was ensuring that every advancement we publicly revealed had a logical progression. No unexplained leaps, no suspicious breakthroughs. Everything had to seem natural, even if it meant holding back technologies we'd mastered decades ago. The aliens who visited Earth, Mitchell added, each believed they were observing a primitive species taking its first steps into space. They never realized they were being studied themselves, their every movement tracked, their technologies analyzed. Wang brought up another display, showing the locations of dozens of massive underground facilities across Earth and its colonies. These bases aren't just research centers, they're arcs. Each contains everything needed to rebuild human civilization, including complete records of both our public and true history. You prepared for total devastation, Kylara realized. Even while maintaining the illusion of vulnerability, you were ensuring humanity's survival. We had to, Chen said grimly. The data we gathered from various alien vessels painted a clear picture. The galaxy is not as stable as most believe. There are ancient powers stirring, civilizations preparing for conflict on an unprecedented scale. The hologram shifted one final time, showing deep space readings that made Kylara's heart cold. Massive fleet movements, hidden bases, weapons tests disguised as natural phenomena, all pointing to preparations for war. This is why we reveal ourselves to you now, Chen explained. The Valkyrie are one of the few civilizations with both the wisdom to understand the threat and the integrity to face it honestly. We need allies who can think beyond conventional approaches. Because conventional approaches won't be enough, Kylara concluded, finally understanding. The coming conflict will require something new. Exactly, Chen nodded. We've spent generations developing technologies that combine different species approaches in ways never attempted before. But technology alone won't be enough. We need allies who can adapt, who can think differently. Malik moved closer to the hologram, studying the deep space readings. These patterns, they suggest coordination on a scale that should be impossible. Multiple species working together in secret, just as humanity did internally. Yes, Chen confirmed. We believe several ancient species have formed a coalition, preparing to reshape the galaxy according to their vision. They see younger civilizations as threats to be controlled or eliminated. And humanity's response was to hide its true nature while preparing for exactly this moment. Kylara marveled. Your entire species committed to a deception spanning generations, all to ensure you would be ready when the time came. We had no choice, Chen said softly. The galaxy believes humanity is young, divided, and technologically primitive. That belief is our greatest weapon, one we're about to lose by revealing ourselves to you. But you're willing to sacrifice that advantage because you believe the coming threat requires a different approach, Kylara realized. The time for hiding is ending, Chen confirmed. The question is, will the Valkyrie stand with us? Not as observers or mentors, but as true allies against what's coming. Kylara looked at her crew, then back at the humans. In all her centuries of exploration, she had never encountered a species that had so completely upended her understanding of what was possible. These weren't just masters of deception or technological innovation. They were strategic planners who had orchestrated their own emergence onto the galactic stage, with patience spanning generations. "We will stand with you," she declared, "though I suspect humanity has been standing ready far longer than anyone in the galaxy realized." Chen's expression was both grateful and grimly determined. "Now comes the hard part, Admiral. We have to convince your people, and eventually the galaxy, that humanity isn't just ready to join galactic civilization. We're ready to help lead it through what's coming." As Kylara absorbed the full implications of what humanity had achieved and what was yet to come, she couldn't help but wonder, what other surprises did these remarkable beings have in store for the galaxy? A new dawn. The Great Hall of the Valkyrie High Council had never seen anything quite like this. Admiral Kylara Ven stood before the assembled council members, her report on humanity drawing shocked murmurs and disbelieving whispers. Behind her, Director Chen and her team waited calmly, their presence itself a testament to how much had changed in the past few days. "You mean to tell us," High Counselor Varric said, his ancient form trembling with agitation, "that this supposedly primitive species has been orchestrating every interaction with galactic civilization for the past 80 years. "Not just orchestrating, Honored Council," Kylara replied. "Teaching themselves, learning, preparing. Every alien encountered was a chance for them to study advanced technology, understand different species' approaches to problems, and develop solutions no single civilization had conceived." The holographic display activated, showing the true extent of human technological development. Council members leaned forward, their expressions ranging from awe to fear as they saw the depth of humanity's achievements. "This is impossible," another council member protested. "No species could advance this quickly, even with recovered technology." "That's where you're wrong," Chen said, stepping forward. Her voice carried clearly through the vast chamber. "Humanity's greatest advantage wasn't our access to alien technology. It was our approach to using it." She gestured, and the display shifted to show human hybrid technologies, combinations of different species approaches that should have been incompatible but somehow worked together seamlessly. Where other species saw barriers between technological approaches, we saw opportunities, Chen continued. Where others followed established paths, we jumped between them, combining ideas in ways that had never been attempted. Our apparent primitiveness wasn't just a deception, it was a shield behind which we could experiment freely. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just hidden their development, they had used their perceived weakness as a strategic advantage, allowing them to innovate without the constraints of established galactic thinking. "But why reveal yourselves now?" Varric asked. "Why sacrifice centuries of careful deception?" Chen's expression grew serious. "Because what's coming requires a new approach. The old powers gathering in deep space, the ancient civilizations preparing for war. They expect younger species to be predictable, to follow established patterns. Humanity offers something different." The hologram shifted again, showing the deep space readings that had prompted humanity's decision to emerge. The patterns of fleet movement, the hidden bases, the weapons tests, all pointing to a conflict that could reshape the galaxy. "We're not here to ask for protection or guidance," Chen declared. "We're here to offer an alliance. The Valkyrie value knowledge and understanding above all else. We offer new ways of thinking, new approaches to problems that the galaxy's ancient powers won't expect." "And if we decline?" a council member asked. "Then we return to the shadows," Chen replied simply. "We've survived there for generations, but the galaxy will face what's coming either way. The question is, will we face it together or separately?" Kylara watched as the council members exchanged glances. She could see the moment when understanding dawned in their eyes. Humanity wasn't seeking permission to join galactic civilization. They were offering the Valkyrie a chance to be part of something new. "There is another factor to consider," Wang added, stepping forward. "The technologies we've developed, the combinations we've discovered, they challenge everything we thought we knew about technological progression. Together, we could unlock possibilities neither of our species could achieve alone." The council chamber erupted in discussion, voices rising and falling as the implications were debated. Through it all, the human delegation stood calmly, their patience evident in every gesture. They had waited generations for this moment. They could wait a few more hours. Finally, High Counselor Varix raised his hand for silence. Director Chen, your species has demonstrated capabilities that defy our understanding. You've hidden in plain sight, learned our secrets, and developed technologies we never imagined possible. Why should we trust you? Chen smiled. Because we could have continued hiding. We could have remained in the shadows, watching as the galaxy moved toward conflict. Instead, we chose to reveal ourselves, to offer our knowledge and capabilities openly. Trust isn't about what we could do, Counselor. It's about what we choose to do. The silence that followed was profound. Then, slowly, Varix rose from his seat. In all our history, we have never encountered a species quite like humanity. You've turned our assumptions about technological development and species behavior upside down. Perhaps, he paused, looking at his fellow council members, perhaps that's exactly what the galaxy needs right now. The vote that followed was unanimous. As the council chamber filled with the traditional lights of alliance acceptance, Kilara noticed something in Chen's expression, not triumph or relief, but quiet satisfaction. This wasn't just a diplomatic victory for humanity. It was the culmination of a plan generations in the making. This is just the beginning, Chen said softly to Kilara as the ceremony concluded. The galaxy's ancient powers think they know every possible move in the game. They're about to learn that humanity has been playing a different game entirely. As the human and Valkyrie delegations moved forward to formalize their alliance, Kilara couldn't help but wonder. When the galaxy's powers finally realized what humanity truly was, would they understand that they hadn't just discovered a new ally or threat? They had discovered a species that had turned patience and preparation into an art form, deception into a shield, and innovation into a weapon. The silent hunters had emerged from the shadows, and the galaxy would never be the same.